Hello, leaders. Hey, this is Paul Grau, and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges, the daily show that equips team leaders to lead through the challenges they face every day. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever considered what low productivity looks like? Now, I know that probably seems like a strange question, but how would you explain exactly what low productivity looks like in your organization or your team? We're going to unpack that question today and talk about ways to increase your productivity all month long. And we have a special free gift for you as well that's going to help you out with this. First of all, I want to share with you that this show is sponsored by the CLC team, and they help turn stagnating and unhealthy teams into high performing and high producing teams. They do this by creating an environment that has effective communication and eliminates unhealthy conflict. If that's something that you and your team need help with, get more info or contact us at clcteam.com. Okay, so let's get back into this question of what does low productivity look like? I mean, specifically to you and your team. How do you know that you are not producing up to your capability without even looking at the bottom line numbers? What warning signs do you see and or hear from your team members? Now, chances are you may not have ever thought about this before, but here's something to consider. If you can't clearly define something, or if you don't know what you're looking for, you're probably not going to recognize it when you and your team are showing signs of it. And or you may not be able to identify how to prevent or fix it. After working with numerous amounts of teams throughout my career in the military and in the corporate world, the answer to this question has been drastically different. Some leaders identified it as confusion among the team while they were performing their work, and even to the point where some team members looked clueless when doing certain jobs. Another team defined it as team members duplicating efforts. They actually had several people doing the same exact job, and they didn't realize it until the job was completely finished and they had three of the exact products for the same client. One leader told me that it looked like team members just hated their jobs all the time. And that impacted the attitudes and morale, the communication, retention in the team unity, pride, motivation, and the team had no real solid relationships within it. This all combined to kill the productivity in the entire organization. Another leader said that low productivity in their organization looked like when people couldn't clearly explain what impact their job had on the overall bottom line and had no idea why they were even doing it. I mean, the leader said they didn't know why certain steps had to be completed in a specific order. And then they even told the leader that some steps were even eliminated because they didn't think they were important. That leader immediately discovered why so many products were being returned for being faulty. I remember one team telling me that their leaders never gave them clear feedback, and the feedback that they did receive was basically a cut and paste, and everyone received the same exact feedback. And yet their annual performance reports were totally shocking because they were marked down in several areas. That team, man, they seemed more than willing to work and improve where they needed to improve, but the leaders didn't have the time, quote unquote, to give them a more thorough feedback. And this in turn killed their levels of productivity. I even had one organization tell me that the training they received was terrible. And being that training lost them so much money, and they were still trying to catch up from the inadequate training they paid for. Then, when I asked them what the training was all about and to explain why it was terrible, none of the leaders could even tell me. That may have been a big reason for their low productivity right there. Now, these are just a few of the reasons and scenarios that I've been told what low productivity looks like and specific reasons why leaders and team members believe their productivity is low. I have also heard low manning, no depth within the team, no real experience in leadership, being overworked or burned out, lack of rewards or flat out wrong rewards that just don't motivate the people, and so many more. So this entire month, man, we're going to be taking a look at each of these scenarios and a whole lot more and I'll be challenging you to boost your productivity every day throughout the month. As for today's challenge, well, try to define how you would recognize low productivity without looking at the numbers. What signs do you think you'd see? Once you think about that, drop me an email and I'll be sure that I cover it over the next month. My email is paul@clcteam.com. Hey, that's it for today. But before I go, I want to tell you about the free product that you can download right now. It's called the Number One Hiring Question. And although this will help you with your hiring, of course, this will also help you with so much more within your team, such as better communication, better job placement, better morale, and yes, better productivity, just to name a few things. And this free download comes with a free video that explains it as well. If you want this free download, please visit clcteam.com/hiring question or just click on the link in today's show notes. And by the way, there are several other links in the show notes that will take you to other free products. There's also info on the online membership group, which, by the way, has a killer special deal for all of my listeners. And it has info on the current mastermind group. I can't wait to dive into this topic starting tomorrow and throughout the month. Until then, run to your challenges.